Once upon a time, in a very ordinary mouse family, an extraordinary little mouse was born. He was unlike the other mice, with short front paws, a flat little face, and large fluffy ears. From birth, he made unusual sounds that resembled puffing. That's why his parents named him Puff. Puff grew up, behaving just like other mice. He ran, jumped, and played, just like the other little mice. But one day, something happened that scared Puff terribly. It occurred on one unfortunate evening when Puff's parents left to bring him his favorite nuts for dinner. But they didn't return home. He waited for them by the window, but not hearing them return, he went to bed hungry. The next morning, Puff decided to go in search of them. He packed his backpack with things he might need on his journey and bravely left the warm, cozy basement where his home was. Once outside, he found himself in a vast world full of surprises and things he had never seen before. Looking around, Puff headed toward the forest that could be seen far on the horizon, as he knew his parents had gone there to pick delicious nuts, which Puff loved so much, when suddenly he heard a desperate cry. Startled, Puff looked around and saw a little fluffy puppy who was trembling and very frightened. Puff approached him and asked, "What happened to you?" The puppy sadly looked at him and said, "Yesterday, my parents went out to bring me something tasty for dinner. I waited for them, but they never came back. I barely waited until morning. Then I set out to find them, but I got lost and don't know where to go." Puff was very surprised and said, "You know, my parents also disappeared. They also went to bring me nuts for dinner yesterday. How strange. Let's search for them together. It will be more fun and safer." "Of course, let's go. What's your name?" the puppy happily said, wagging his tail. "My name is Puff. And yours?" the mouse replied. "My name is Gavgausi, and I'm very glad to meet you," said the puppy. Happy to have found each other, they continued their search for their parents. Chatting and playing happily, they quickly approached the garbage dump. But then, a little crow fell on their heads. Looking around frantically, the crow was calling for its mom and dad. But as you can guess, no one answered, and no one came to it. The little crow began to cry bitterly, and lowering its small, undeveloped wings, sadly walked away. "Hey, little crow," called Puff the mouse. "Where are you going? And what happened to you?" The little crow looked sadly at Puff and said, "Yesterday, my parents flew away to bring me some tasty worms for dinner, but they still haven't come back. I waited for them all night and decided to go find them, but my wings are still too weak to fly, and that's why I fell down." Puff looked at him sympathetically and said, "Our parents are also missing, and we're also looking for them. They also went out yesterday to bring us food and didn't come back. If you want, you can join us. It will be more fun and safer." The little crow, feeling cheered up, immediately agreed. "What are your names?" he asked. "My name is Karkus. I'm Puff, and this is Gavgausi. I'm very glad to meet you," said the mouse. Now there were 3 of them, Puff the mouse, Gavgausi the puppy, and Karkus the little crow. With their team now complete, they bravely and eagerly marched toward the garbage dump. Suddenly, a big stinky puddle appeared in their path, flowing from the mountain of garbage. The smell was so awful that the heroes had to cover their noses and mouths with little cloths that Puff made from a rag in his backpack. The puddle was dirty, smelly, and large. Puff noticed that nearby, there was a big box that they could use to cross this horrible puddle. They quickly moved toward the box, but when they lifted it, they were surprised to see a frightened, fluffy face underneath. "Who are you?" the fluffy face asked. "We're looking for our parents, who went out yesterday and haven't returned. Don't be afraid. We're friendly and won't hurt you. What's your name?" "I'm Meaumiausi, and my parents are missing too. I went out to look for them, but I got scared of this huge garbage dump, and I'm really tired. If you want, you can join us, and we'll look for our parents together," Puff the mouse offered. "And we'll also need your box to cross this huge, stinky puddle." "Thank you. I'd be happy to go with you," replied Meaumiausi, cheerfully climbing out of the box.